In an earlier episode last May, we exposed a huge adoption fraud.
Dus dat betekent dat alles vals is, ja, ook je geboortedatum. En dan ineens is je identiteit weg.
The documents of thousands of babies that were adopted from Sri Lanka to the Netherlands turn out to have been falsified on a large scale.
Dat betekent, meneer, dat misschien wel bij 70% van die duizenden kinderen de dossiers niet kloppen.
We've discovered that a Dutch adoption agency named Flash knowingly committed this fraud and from it made a vast amount of money.
Dat er eigenlijk geen sprake is van adoptie, maar gewoon kinderhandel.
The reasons for adoption were lied about. Mothers turned out not to be the real mothers. And siblings of the adopted children were kept secret, with far-reaching consequences.
Ik heb helemaal niks meer. Alleen mijn naam.
Having seen our first episode, some of these adopted children decided to travel to Sri Lanka to look for their biological parents.
Ik vind het gewoon heel erg als mensen daar misbruik van maken.
We traveled to Sri Lanka as well. We discover who these fake mothers are and where the adopted children really came from.
Hier werden baby's verkocht.
Zembla investigates the network behind the deception. We track these people down and confront them with the adoption fraud.
They have baby farms. They put couples, a boy and a girl, or women and a man, and get pregnant. Then they get the baby.
Ik ben niet alleen, maar ik voel me altijd wel een beetje alleen op de wereld. Terwijl ik weet dat hier in Sri Lanka zijn ergens mijn ouders en misschien mijn broers en zussen. Maar er kan iedereen zijn, maar ook helemaal niemand. Ik heb geen idee.
Amandi Van Loan was adopted in Sri Lanka in 1990. She's been searching for her biological parents in Sri Lanka in vain for 22 years. Then she saw our first episode about the adoption fraud.
Ik heb er met open mond zitten bekijken en ik dacht, dit meen je niet. En toen ben ik meteen naar mijn ouders huis gegaan en heb ik alles uitgeprint. Ik ben alles gaan onderzoeken en toen kwam ik erachter. Ja, en het was echt alleen maar één grote zooi van fouten. En toen stond heel mijn leven eigenlijk op zijn kop.
Amandi found a document filled with new clues and decides to travel to Sri Lanka a fourth time to look for her parents.
Er werd mij altijd verteld dat mijn moeder een affaire had, dat zij een one-night stand heeft gehad, zwanger is geraakt, ongehuwd, wat hier een schande is, of was. En dat ze mij gewoon om die reden niet kon houden. En dat mijn vader onbekend was. Ik heb me altijd zo gevoeld van, ik ben een foutje en daarom ben ik afgestaan. Ik heb me altijd een fout gevoeld.
Amandi was a premature baby.
Ik was 1,9 kilo volgens de papieren. En ik had een babyhuidsmeer ook nog op mijn lichaam toen mijn adoptieouders mij kregen. En die had al zoiets van, volgens mij is zij nog nooit gewassen.
Denk jij dat jouw moeder, wie dat ook is, vrijwillig afstand van jou heeft gedaan?
Nee. Met wat ik nu weet, niet.
En welk verhaal is er dan als je moeder niet vrijwillig afstand van jou doet?
Ja, ik denk gewoon dat ze mij uit het ziekenhuis hebben gehaald. Dat haar is verteld bijvoorbeeld, omdat ik heel klein was, dat ik was overleden bij de geboorte.
During her 22-year search, Amandi has constantly come across adoption fraud.
Ja, ik heb wel onderzoek gedaan. En toen kwam ik ook al bij een aantal ziekenhuizen in Sri Lanka die daarbij betrokken waren. Of bij het vervalsen van dossiers, ofwel bij het gewoon weghalen van kinderen, het roven, voor de verkoop. Het was één organisatie van mensen met macht en geld. Dat is gewoon eigenlijk adoptiemafia. Op deze manier. Dit gaat niet meer van mij. Voor mij gaat het niet meer over adoptie, maar over kinderhandel.
Wie heeft dat in elkaar geflanst, die papieren?
Ja, de arts, de maatschappelijk werkster van probation, Pereira.
In our previous episode, we already stumbled upon Chandri Pereira's dubious practices. She's a former employee of the Sri Lankan Child Services, who then went on to work for the Dutch organization Flash and arranged the adoptions from Sri Lanka.
We are looking for a woman called Mrs. Pereira. She is kind of a spider in the web of the fraud.
Pereira played a key role in as many as 44 of the dozens of files we investigated. These contain several false documents. We try to find Pereira's address through our translators network.
He says he doesn't know about her.
We posted an appeal on Facebook.
Waar woont Sri Pereira in Mount Lavinia, Sri Lanka?
Hey, Sharona, met Rajitha van Zembla. Hi.
We have an appointment with Sharona Jacobs. She was adopted in 1984 through the Dutch organization Flash. She found her biological mother in 2001, but has been having more and more doubts about it.
Ik heb nooit dat moedergevoel gehad. Nooit gevoeld ook van oprecht van wat fijn dat ik jou na al die jaren weer in mijn armen kan sluiten. En hoe gaat het met je en wat doe je? Ik heb nooit die vragen gehad. Altijd kreeg ik de vragen, ja, hoeveel geld kan je me geven? Krijg ik geld?
Sharona found her mother through this man, Walter Agoda, who was recommended to her by Flash. But since their first meeting, Sharona has been unable to contact her mother directly. Everything has to go through Agoda.
It's impossible for you to go because without me you can't just communicate.
Hoe kan het dat jij niet weet waar je moeder woont?
Ja, hij wil mij de gegevens niet geven. Ik heb al meerdere malen gevraagd van wat is het adres? Welk plaatsje woont ze?
All these years, Agoda told her that her father was alive somewhere.
January 2nd, this year, your father was in Matugama.
Agoda keeps promising Sharona to arrange a meeting with him, but this never takes place.
When you come next time, shall we go and meet?
Op een gegeven moment weet je ook niet meer wat er nu waar is en wat er nu klopt. En dan denk je van, ik wil gewoon het enige wat ik wil weten. En daar heb ik ook gewoon recht op, vind ik. Daar heeft iedereen recht op. Om te weten waar die vandaan komt. En ja, ik vind het gewoon heel erg als mensen daar misbruik van maken. Daar word ik ook gewoon ontzettend boos van.
Sharona is now back in Sri Lanka to look for her father and to get a sample of her biological mother's DNA.
Hello.
Hello Walter, it's me, Sharona.
Hello, Sharona.
Sharona makes an appointment with Agoda to visit her mother tomorrow.
My father? Did you...
No, that is the problem. Only thing is they know he's living in Ratnapura somewhere, but they don't know the place.
Agoda arrives the following day. We have been getting several similar complaints about Agoda in the Netherlands. He refuses to give the adopted children any contact details for the family and has remained vague about any other relatives, alive or not, for years. We get permission to visit Sharona's mother with her.
But the thing is, I don't like to appear myself in the TV.
We keep a hidden camera running.
I heard there was some TV program in Netherlands about this adoption. I have nothing to do with the adoption cases.
Agoda explains that Flash has been paying him since 1993 to look for biological parents. He's handled around 350 cases. The adopted children also paid him $500 per investigation. In other words, Walter has been paid double.
We will pay you $125 per case, right? My God, I thought that's a very, very big amount at that time.
Flash said that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But don't put these things in your documentary or this thing.
Having dealt with dubious adoption files for over 20 years, and because of his relationship with Flash, Agoda knows exactly how the adoption fraud was structured. He starts with the hospitals.
You know, there were some agents in the hospital employed by those organizations. They take the baby and the mother to that particular place.
What place do you mean?
I told you there were some places with mothers and children. They were collecting or bringing these mothers with the children to several places.
Mothers and children were taken from hospitals to special gathering places by agents of the adoption organizations. Will Agoda keeps mentioning a woman whose name he doesn't want to give.
Why don't you want to mention her name? You're talking about Miss Pereira.
That's one lady.
Yeah.
Some of the lawyers who have done this, I don't want to mention their name to you. And also the probation office, the child care department.
Also the probation office was involved. They are working with Pereira. It was like an organization.
Yeah. And also...
In addition to these gathering places for babies from hospitals, there was another way to obtain these adoptions.
Sri Lanka, there were baby farms. You know? You know what baby farms is?
No, I've heard from the baby farms, but I don't get it.
They put couples, a boy and a girl, or women and a man, and get pregnant. Then they get the baby. Something like that.
Like a baby factory.
I don't know. They call baby farm. I don't. So,
on a farm, you breed things.
Yeah, that's the meaning, I think.
You say they put couples. Who puts couples there?
I mean, these people who have done these adoption cases.
But how does one get these babies in the adoption process? With a so-called acting mother, Will Agoda says.
Then, when the Dutch family comes to take the child, so what they do is, they take some other ladies who is in that hall or house.
Yeah.
And tell the lady, please go and hand over this baby. That's all you have to do.
Like if it's yours.
Yes, wait till you. Then
These fake mothers are the reason why many of the adopted children can't find their real biological mothers. Sharona's mother lives in a poor, remote rural area.
Yes.
This is her home.
Hello.
Sharona is visibly ill at ease during the meeting with her mother and the many other relatives she barely knows. This time, in the presence of our own interpreter, Walter suddenly says that the family now tells him that her father is dead.
your father is died. And then I said, last time when we came, they said the father is living in Ratnapura.
A heated discussion follows.
They say that they never said that the father is alive.
Sharona doesn't know what to believe anymore.
Kan Walter er een belang bij hebben om te doen voorkomen dat jouw vader nog leeft?
Ja, dat denk ik wel.
En wat is dat belang dan?
Ja, geld.
Want waarom levert hem dat dan geld op?
Ja, dat ik blijf betalen om die research te doen.
Sharona can't tell who is lying, Walter or the family.
They say that they don't
She wants to ask her mother a few questions about the moment of adoption. When she asks her mother who she gave Sharona to at the time, the mother points to Sharona's friend, shown here on the right from the back.
Yeah, she looks like her.
Which is odd because Sharona's adoptive mother wasn't in Sri Lanka at the time. Her father was alone.
What did she dress the baby?
Just
regular. Dat is niet wat ik heb gedragen. En sowieso was mijn vader alleen. Dus ik weet gewoon zeker dat zij heeft misschien wel een kind afgestaan, maar ik was het niet. I want to know the birth date of the baby. She has to know that.
Oh, අම්මට ඒ අවුරුද්ද මතකද කියලා අහනවා මේ ඉපදිච්ච
The month? You must know the month or
මාසේ හරි අවුරුද්ද හරි මේ කාලේ කියලා හරි එහෙම මතක නැද්ද?
මතකයි මතක.
She don't remember.
මට දැන් අවු ඉන්න බෑද?
Yeah, it's sun is
අවු ඉන්න බෑ.
it's hot.
Kan iemand even tellen?
To put an end to her uncertainty, Sharona takes a saliva and blood sample from her mother to compare it with her own DNA in the Netherlands.
Okay, can you tell her thank you?
Sharona has another appointment with Will Agoda the next day to confront him with his actions. The hospital in Madugama is often mentioned in the false adoption cases we've come across.
Dit is het oude ziekenhuis van Madugama. En ik heb net verplegend personeel gesproken. Waaronder mensen die hier in de jaren 80 hebben gewerkt. Die hebben mij verteld, ja, hier werden baby's verkocht. Het is een hele arme streek. En die moeders hebben gewoon hun kinderen verkocht voor ja, een paar duizend roepies. Dat is een handvol geld. En hier zijn honderden kinderen verkocht aan onder andere de Nederlandse adoptieorganisaties. It's extraordinary to look into a baby's face and see a piece of your flesh and your spirit. It makes you realize you are a part of the human race. In het ziekenhuis waar honderden kinderen zijn verkocht.
In our first episode, we showed that the Dutch adoption organization Flash knew about the adoption fraud in Sri Lanka back in the 1980s. Now we found a letter from Flash to Walter Will Agoda from 2001, which proves that Flash was actively involved in the adoption fraud. It describes a case where one of a set of twins on the adoption list died. This dead child's name was used for the adoption of another orphan that went to the Netherlands. The baby died. The lawyer told the adoptive parents not to cry and suggested to use the documents of the dead child to offer another orphan a better life. The adoptive parents discussed this with the head of Flash. So no one will ever find out where this orphan was from, or whether he or she was given up legitimately. Sharona is about to meet Will Agoda to confront him with his dubious actions. During this meeting, we will show Will Agoda the letter from Flash.
She has some important questions.
Yeah. Yes, because for me it was not very clear why I didn't get the address of my family.
What is the reason that I hide anything from you? You have visited several times there.
Yeah, but
what is the reason you didn't give her the address?
Don't ask these questions from me. Huh?
Why not?
Why? Who are you to ask questions?
I'm a journalist.
It's okay. I don't want to answer.
Did you knew how Flash operated?
No.
That they changed babies and no?
We show Will Agoda the letter from Flash about the trade involving the dead baby and the other orphan.
Yeah, so?
So you know.
This is the reason why I'm very, very angry at
it's
you.
Okay, right.
Because this proves everything. Everything.
Until then.
What makes you so angry?
Because he's lying. You're lying.
I'm lying.
Yes, because I just asked you, what do you
When
know?
Sharona then challenges him on his search for her father, alive or not, Will Agoda immediately offers to give Sharona her money back.
So that means I didn't find her father. Okay? So that means they have paid, but I didn't do the work. No.
So you're going to pay her back?
Yeah.
And all the other adoptees with the same complaints, what are you going to do with them?
I don't know that.
You don't know?
I don't think I...
You have 350 satisfied customers?
It's not about the money. It's about the fact you promise people things and you don't keep it. That's what
Sharona.
makes me angry.
That's how, okay.
They trusted you.
If I hurt,
We trusted
I
you.
apologize, okay?
Thank you for the conversation.
We have a meeting with Andrew DaSilva. He helps Sri Lankan mothers who are looking for their children in the Netherlands. The mothers come from all over the country. Some women gave up their child expecting to stay in contact with them. Others were forced to give up their child for adoption by their families.
One woman, they lost the child in the hospital.
The child was
stolen.
Stolen.
Yes.
Hospital authorities. බාප්පා දැකලා තිබුණා බබා අර උපදේශනේ කාමරෙන් එළියට ගේනවා. පස්සේ මට කිව්වා මම එළියට ගෙනාවට පස්සේ තාත් මහත්තයාවම බේබි රූම් එකට ගිහින් බබා බලන්න. මෙයා ඊට පහුවෙන් දෙවිත් බලනකොට නැහැ. මමත් කියන්නේ ඉස්සයි කවුරුත් හිටියේ නෑ බලන්න එහෙම මම ගිහින් බේබි රූම් එකේ හැමතැනම බැලුවා ඒත් නෑ. ඊට පස්සේ නැති වෙලා කිව්වා.
ඒතර අම්මා හිතන්නේ ඇයි රට ගෙනිච්ච කියලා හිතන්නේ.
කියන්නේ ගොඩක් අය එහෙම වෙලා තියෙනවා රටේ. ඒ කාලේ.
අර නර්ස් කෙනෙක් සම්බන්ධ වෙලා නෙදර්ලන්තයට තමයි මේ ගොඩක් කට්ටිය දීලා තියෙන්නේ.
That hospital was used to steal children, to tell the parents the children died, and then the children were brought to Europe for adoption.
That is what they think. And that is they have heard a lot of stories like that in that hospital.
1989. This is where Gabriella van der Velde was handed over to her adoptive mother.
Heel mooi kindje. Moeder is er ook gek mee. Zal het moeilijk zijn voor het meisje?
Years later, Gabriella found out that her adoption papers were false. We spoke to her in the Netherlands.
Wat zijn de belangrijkste documenten die niet kloppen in jouw adoptiedossier?
Mijn gehele geboortecertificaat. Ik denk dat het enige wat klopt is mijn naam en de naam van mijn moeder. De rest is allemaal vervalst.
Gabriella found her mother in 2001. The joy was overshadowed by the fact that her mother told her all sorts of lies about the family.
Ik begrijp, je had een halfzus, ja. Maar dat is je halfzus niet.
Klopt.
En je hebt een echte halfzus, die is voor je verzwegen.
Ja.
Dat is nogal chaotisch.
Ja, en ik vind het echt, ik vind het ook onmenselijk. Ik vind het echt onmenselijk. Voor alle partijen.
Waarom liegt jouw moeder tegen jou?
Ik denk onder dwang van iemand.
Her mother's lies are the reason Gabriella has had reservations about her.
Mijn twijfels zijn echt gekomen na de laatste uitzending van jullie. Dat mijn papieren niet klopten. Dat zij ook gewoon gegevens niet juist heeft. Mijn geboortedatum was niet goed. Dat ze gewoon bepaalde... Op detailniveau heeft zij het niet helder.
Gabriella is not going to Sri Lanka herself.
Waarom heb jij mij gevraagd om DNA van die vrouw af te nemen?
Zodat ik het hoofdstuk kan afsluiten. Dat ik weet dat zij mijn moeder is of niet.
We arrive at Gabriella's mother's home in Badagama.
Hello.
We show her mother a photo of Gabriella, whose Sri Lankan name is Upuli.
Sunita. Sunita.
But her mother says a completely different name.
Does she have a photo of Sunita herself? Dit is eigenaardig. Dit is toch iemand anders? Ze geeft een foto van een hele andere dochter, joh.
We show the mother another photo of Gabriella. This time she does say the right name.
Hey, Upuli. Upuli.
It's
my girl.
It's your girl.
Oh, yeah.
This is not Sunita.
No, Upuli.
Ja, oké.
Sunita කියන්නේ අනේ අනිත් එක්කන එතන හිටිය අනිත් එක මගේ.
දෙන්නම වගේ නම නෙමෙයි.
නෑ.
I lost it. Can you imagine that I lost it?
So what?
Dit is dus precies de reden van de verwarring. We komen hier aan en ik laat een foto zien van Gabrielle en ze noemt een andere naam en ze zegt dat is mijn dochter. En dan zegt ze ineens ja, ik ben toch niet de moeder van dat andere meisje. Ik kan me goed voorstellen bij Gabrielle dat er alle verwarring is en alle reden om een DNA-test te doen. Het was best een haarscherpe foto. Ja. Hoe kan het dat jouw moeder zich zo vergist?
Ik denk dat dit gewoon een act is.
Want wat wordt er geacteerd dan?
Dat zij opdracht krijgt om dat Sunita gewoon haar kind is. Dat gewoon moet.
Gabriella is right. Meanwhile, the mother confessed to our interpreter off camera that she was an acting mother for the other girl, Sunita, at the time.
And who was the broker who told her to be an acting mother?
අම්මා නැති වෙන්නේ නැති කියම මොකක් හරි එකක් වෙලා වෙන්නේ නැති ඇත්ත කියන්නේ බෑ. ඔව් අම්මා නැති ජීලා ගිහිල්ලා. ඉතින් අම්මට ඉදිරිපත් වෙන්න කෙනෙක් නැහැ කිව්වා. මට ඉදිරිපත් වෙන්න කිව්වා.
Why did she agree?
අම්මා එතකොට ඒකට හා කිව්වේ ඒක සල්ලි දුන්නද නැත්නම්?
සල්ලි දුන්නේ ඉතින් ඉදිරිපත් වෙන කෙනෙක් නැති ඒක ඉතින් මම බොහොම දුකසේ ජීවත් වෙන්නේ. මට එදා දවස් 4ක් මං හිටියේ. දවස් 4ට මට දුන්න රුපියල් 2000ක්. ඒ දවස්වල හිටියේ රුපියල් 2000ක් දුන්නා.
When the other girl came to see her a few years ago, thinking she had found her mother, she continued to act as her mother.
First time the child came, they were believing that she is the mother. So regular to amma kiwwe naha moka.
Is it hard for her to act like a mother when a child comes from Holland and hugs her? And is it hard for her to act?
Ik snap gewoon niet dat je kent het verdriet hè, van dat je dus eigen kinderen afstaat. En dat jij dan zo'n rol kunt vervullen om daar beter van te worden. Vind ik best heftig. Dat vind ik best wel iets zeggen over de vrouw. En dan kan men wel zeggen, er is armoede, maar er is ook een geweten.
Is she the real mother of the girl from the picture, Gabriella?
ඒ ඇත්තම දුවද?
මගේ දු.
සුවර් ඒක
සුවර්.
කොහොමද සුවර් කියන්නේ?
මගේ දු මගේ බඩින් අදාලා දීපු දරුවා මන් දන්නෝනේ පුලිසන්දයා කුමාරි. එයාන මගේ අනිවාර්යෙන් මගේ 100ට 200ක් මම ලේවලින් මේකන මගේ දරුවා.
Speaking of signing in blood, is she willing to do a DNA test because Gabriella has doubts?
We take the woman and her husband to our hotel for a DNA test. We're still looking for Pereira. Her name comes up in several false adoption papers. How is this possible?
Okay, I found the address of Pereira. This is the address.
In 200 meters, turn left onto off Desaram Road.
Hello. Hello, sir. I'm looking for Mrs. Pereira.
Yes, yes.
Can I come?
Yeah. Why you are taking photo? Why?
Because I'm journalist. Okay, you want me to stop the camera?
No, yes.
We feel this conversation is so important for our investigation that we decide to keep the camera rolling anyway.
Don't worry.
Are you Mrs. Pereira?
Yes.
I want to speak to you about the adoptions from the children.
No, I don't. I'm now very old and I cannot remember anything about the adoption.
No, I'm now taking a breakfast.
Did you had a cooperation with Flash from Holland?
Yeah, I was the representative of Sri Lanka for Flash.
All the papers are false, birth certificates. You were involved with a lot of adoptions to Holland. What's the explanation?
You know, those are the birth certificates they bring to us.
Who falsified the documents?
Lawyer.
Why did the lawyer falsify the documents?
I don't know. Why?
You work with the lawyer. You should know.
It's the work of the lawyer, not mine.
But which lawyer falsified the documents?
I don't know. I can't remember.
You don't check anything?
No, I don't.
No, why not? It's important. It's about children. Miss Pereira, how is it possible that a lot of the mothers are not the real mothers of the children? How is that possible?
As we continue to ask questions, Pereira's brother-in-law whispers something in her ear.
How is that possible, Miss Pereira?
I don't know. I can't remember anything.
There were a lot of children in your house.
Not in my house.
Yes.
We never keep in our house.
I spoke to children. They were in your house for weeks.
No.
Yes, they were.
I never keep children in my house.
Pereira's name is also mentioned in Amandi van Loon's adoption papers, many of which are false. Did Amandi stay in Pereira's home as well?
Toen heb ik mijn adoptieouders gebeld en toen zei mijn moeder, jij bent bij Pereira geweest. En toen dacht ik, Pereira?
Chandri Pereira was one of the key figures in Tros Akshua's TV report aired in 1983, which exposed Flash's dubious adoption practices.
Mevrouw Pereira zou in de gaten hebben gekregen hoeveel er met dit soort zaken te verdienen is.
The Trost reporter saw lots of babies in Pereira's house. In a normal adoption procedure, they shouldn't be there at all. When the reporter asks Pereira about it, the atmosphere turns grim.
No. Why did you lie to us this morning?
What did I lie?
Because they have the children.
We took the children for medical.
You say on television, I took the children for medical. So the children were in your house. Yeah, you remember?
Not my home, but from the children's home.
Could you explain me, what is an acting mother?
I don't know.
No, you don't know. The children are here now, looking for their real parents. You want to meet them?
All right. Now, if you want these children to come and see me, you can ask them.
But
they must bring their documents.
They will bring you tons of documents. Can I return tonight?
Can you come at about 5?
Can I bring then my camera with me and we do an interview? Okay, great. We see each other at 5 o'clock.
Sure, 5.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
5.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the day. Het is heel belangrijk als al die kinderen, volwassenen nu in Nederland, straks met hun vragen en hun dossiers met die namen erop bij haar terecht kunnen. Zij heeft antwoorden op al die vragen.
We present our findings to the Sri Lankan Minister of Health, also a government spokesman.
We found out that most of the adoption papers are false. Mothers who gave their children up for adoption are acting mothers. Babies were stolen from hospitals and were sold for adoption. Did you know this?
Within the government, no, there was no discussion about this. The government must take this into consideration very seriously. So, and even to set up a separate office to find these parents and to match the parents and the children. And now we can easily do this with now we can match the DNAs. Very easy to find whether the mother and the children are the true or fake.
You are responsible.
And not that I am responsible, but I will take the initiative.
At a certain time, the government stopped with inter-country adoption. Why?
There were a lot of cases of these baby farms. There was a baby farm found in my district, closer to the beach area, and they have found that they raided and they actually arrested the people. Baby farm means they collect babies and they sell it to the foreigners. They give it for adoption.
This is the first time the Sri Lankan government has openly acknowledged the existence of these baby farms. Until now, all reports of them were dismissed as rumors.
There is a small group responsible for the adoption fraud. Advocates, doctors, probation officers. They earned a tremendous amount of money on babies and poor mothers. To us, it looks like a kind of a criminal organization. What is your response to that?
Yeah. If it is done in an illegal way, it is very wrong. It is very wrong. It is against the human rights of those families. So that has to be investigated. I myself will will take the responsibility for investigation.
The minister has assumed responsibility. Pereira refuses to do the same. A few hours after we've left her, she calls us.
So I don't want to see you anymore, please.
You don't want to see me anymore?
Yeah,
and what about the children? You promised me that your children could visit you with their files.
I don't want to meet them also.
But you promised it, Miss Pereira.
My heart is more important.
Your heart is more important than your children, okay? Yeah, but you made a promise, Miss Pereira.
Okay.
They're looking for their mothers.
Sorry, I don't.
Miss Pereira, they're looking for their mothers. Please help the children.
We leave Sri Lanka and return to the Netherlands. We contact the woman who wrote the letter from the adoption organization Flash about the switch between the dead baby and the orphan. She can't remember the letter and refuses to give an interview. We ask current Deputy Minister of Justice Dijkhoff for a response to the fraud involving Dutch adoptions. Dijkhoff also refuses to be interviewed. He informs us in writing that he will contact the Sri Lankan government following our investigation. Sharona sent the DNA material in for analysis straight away.
Jij hebt de uitslag van de DNA-test gekregen.
Ja.
En?
Ja, ze is mijn moeder.
Je ziet er niet heel blij uit.
Nee, ik ben ook echt niet blij. Nee. Ik kan me dan ook niet voorstellen dat je gewoon niks weet. Wanneer ik ben geboren, wat ik aan had, aan wie je me hebt gegeven. Ja, ik wil gewoon weten wie mijn familie is. En voornamelijk wil ik gewoon weten ook wie mijn vader is. Waarom moet je nou al die jaren over alles liegen? Dat begrijp ik niet. Dan denk ik, het enige wat ik me dan kan verzinnen is van of je wilde me echt niet. Ik was echt niet ongewenst. Ik denk van nou, ik hoef er niks meer van te onthouden. Of je hebt gewoon meerdere weggegeven dat je het gewoon niet meer weet.
Heb jij je moeder verteld over de DNA-uitslag?
Nee.
Waarom niet?
Op dit moment heb ik die behoefte ook gewoon helemaal niet.
Heeft zij recht op dat te weten? Dat jij haar dochter bent?
Ze heeft dat recht wel, vind ik. Ze is ook een mens.
Gabriella van der Velde has the result of her mother's DNA test as well.
Ja, ze is wel mijn moeder. Ja. Dus het boek kan dicht.
Is dat een felicitatie waard?
Nee. Je moet nu gewoon alleen gaan accepteren en verwerken dat de vrouw zo is. En dat vind ik best wel heel erg moeilijk.
Weet jij met zekerheid wie al dan niet jouw broers of zussen zijn?
Vanuit Sri Lanka wel. Maar of er meer is, ik heb geen idee. Alles kan. Ja, alles kan.
After our first episode, Amandi van Loon found new information about her biological parents. Amandi left for Sri Lanka full of hope. Unfortunately, her 3-week search was futile because this information was false as well.
En ik dacht, ja, wat kan er nou nog misgaan? Ik heb alles wat ik moet hebben. En dan kom ik in Sri Lanka en eigenlijk alles wat er mis kon gaan, is misgegaan. Ik heb helemaal niks meer. Alleen mijn naam. Waarvan ik hoop dat mijn ouders die mij hebben gegeven,